This is Built from Scratch podcast, and I'm Molly.
I'm Riley, and today we're with Nancy, owner of the Greenhouse. Nancy, would you mind telling us a little bit about your story?
Um, this is the greenhouse. These are the tropical houses with interior plants. This business was started on May the 4th, 1984, 41 years ago, and it's been a work in progress ever since. We're open 7 days a week. We close on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. And so it takes quite a bit of energy and staffing to keep it going all the rest of the year. We have multiple houses. I think you've been here before and walked around. And the changing of the season, you're seeing it today. We've been days and days and days putting plastic on the greenhouses, preparing for winter. And we start growing our product that we sell in December. So we'll fill all these houses up December, January, and February, and hopefully be ready for sale March, April, May, and June.
Oh, wow.
Are our busiest months. But it is a very seasonal business. It changes all the time, but very rewarding to me. I love it.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you started it and why?
I am actually was a banker, and I did the Security National Bank's money. I did the government and municipal securities and managed the Fed funds for the bank. And it just so happened that I was in the bank when I realized that this building had burned, and the man who was operating the building was trying to put a nursery in, and he failed. So I bought the building and had a man that was going to run it for me. And I really liked wearing silk dresses and high heel shoes. But he quit after about 6 months of doing it, and it took me 2 or 3 years of hiring managers and people that tried to run it. But it was a work in progress. It was during the FDIC days when they were closing banks. There were 5 banks in Norman that closed, and 2 of them didn't. So all of the banks had failed. So all your borrowing capacity was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But we managed to stay alive through the 80s and the 90s. It wasn't a lot of fun, but I'm still here. So that's the background of how it started. And I always tried to stay focused on the long-term results, and this is what you see today.
Okay. So, next question. What was one of the hardest things and most unexpected things you faced in running this business?
The pandemic, but it was wonderful for me. The pandemic, we were one of the few businesses that could stay open at full going and concerned. We had product inside the building, the chemicals and things that people still needed. And so we had lots of space where everybody could spread out. My sales doubled the first year of the pandemic.
Wow.
And that was totally unexpected.
Yeah,
Nobody knew that was going to happen. But it was a bonus for me, for people that had never been here, because I'm kind of out of the way. You have to come here.
Yeah.
I'm not on the way to someplace.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably a big unexpected deal. But that one, I regret that a lot of people got sick, and a lot of deaths and a lot of tragic things. But for me as a business owner, it changed my world.
Oh, wow.
How much of your time is spent on the nursery versus the business aspect?
It's really hard to take them apart. I mean, I do all of the the bill paying, the order. I don't do all the ordering. I have a gentleman that helps me order because it's gotten too big. And the purchasing, like this building and that building and that building, these are, and I have to have staff to maintain these different items because this is totally different than the nursery stock outside. So I kind of segmented it into this versus the gifts, all the gifts and the wind chimes and all the stuff that's in the inside. I have a lady that goes with me to market, and we go to the Dallas market and the Atlanta market, and we buy. And I try to buy for what I think my customers want, and that's really hard to do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
It is, but it's been it's hard to do the buying, but the buying is unique, and you can go to Markham's Nursery. That's the only other nursery left. When I opened, there were 11 nurseries in town. There were no box stores. There was no Home Depot, no Lowe's, no Atwoods across the street. And so the nurseries at that time were the only place where you could buy plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a little easier until the box stores came. Talk about the ability to put somebody out of business, they did. But it survived.
So next question, does the specific Oklahoma weather and climate influence your buying, selling, and care advice?
Totally. The Oklahoma weather is my enemy. I mean, if we were in Southern California, I wouldn't worry about the plastic or the this or that or the other. But it's because of the different seasons that we go through. Like yesterday and the day before, we were trying to make sure all the heaters worked. Well, I had 5 heaters that didn't work.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and so now that we've identified it and getting it ready, so the weather is, I'm a gambler, so to speak, because if you get rained out on the weekends, there's half your sales for that week. So the weekends are really critical for me. And holidays. Holidays take a different toll, whether they're good or bad, whatever. But it's you just learn to adjust and deal with it. But it is different.
So as you grew, how did you find the staff that had the passion and knowledge in order to work with you?
I still have my original interior decorator inside, and she's been with me 40 years out of the 41. And we still travel together and go to market, and she helps me. But most of the staff here has very much longevity. Francisco has been with me 35. So if if you don't have to train somebody over and over and over again, you're ahead of the game. The outside workers have all been here for 10 to 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the interior guys, most of the two, like Taryn that works at is at the register right now. I think he's been here 7 or 8 years, and so it really helps to have a family environment. And
Yeah.
we're small enough, we do that.
Wow.
Vivian, she's the blonde that works here at the register. She rules the register. And she was my UPS lady. And
Oh,
I
wow.
thought, I tracked her down. I didn't know her last name. I just Vivian. And so I tracked her down and I said, went to UPS. They wouldn't tell me. So I went to some of the other businesses along the street where I knew she delivered. And I found out her husband has Ricky's garage up the street, Jennings Garage. So I went up there and I found her. And I said, I want you to go to work with me. Anybody who works as hard as you do, driving the UPS truck, has got to work for me.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I tried to always just stay in my zone of people I know, how their work ethic is, whatever. Another lady that works here is Shelly, and she only works 2 days a week. She has her own dog grooming business over on Porter. And she was in her car and had her phone number on it. And I thought, if you're a dog groomer, you're going to work hard, you know. And so I tracked her down. I got her phone number and called her. So
Oh, wow.
different ways of getting staff.
Is she who grooms Roxy?
Yes, she does. Well, it was after I groomed her, you know, And I thought, what? Now that girl needs to work here. So it's really personalities, because I expect everybody to do everything. I'm not one that slots everybody for this or everybody for that or everybody for this. We all unload the trucks when the trucks come. We all do this. I don't want anyone sitting on their tush in the office when they could be out helping. So it's pretty tight ship. We like it. I like it.
Sounds awesome. Um, how do you decide which plants you carry, and are there any plants that you absolutely refuse to stock, or any secret gems that you just love in the nursery?
Well, you can look around this building. Some of the ones that I love, I plant in the ground. I love fiddle leaf figs. That pond and all of that over there, that was built, um, oh, 35 years ago.
Oh
So
wow.
these two houses are probably two of my oldest houses and a couple of houses down there. But the others are newer additions. But it's trendy. You wouldn't think that plants are trendy, but they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors of what color you're buying to sell that year, it's just as important as somebody who has a dress shop or something, because you don't want a bunch of white petunias if pink is selling. So,
Yeah.
and if you decide what you're gonna, like, we've already made our selections for what we're growing next year. We had to do that in the summer. So by the time March comes around and I start selling, I'm praying that I've selected the right things.
Do you ever try to predict the trends?
Yeah, that's our job.
And how do you do that?
That's our job. That's
Okay.
Wonderful man right here takes me on a lot of trips. And I have drug him to every botanical garden, starting in London and all over the place. And I really pay attention to what the other botanical gardens, nurseries. We learned how to do these benches right here in Naples, Florida, and Andy spotted those benches and said, you should put these benches in your store. And so there we go. But traveling really helps.
Oh
But
wow.
in California, Louisiana, well, Texas, all the places, it really helps. But that's a big part of the job, is your production and what you think is going to happen. If Southern Living would give me a magazine saying what they're going to put out in April, I would be masterful. But they don't do that.
That's funny. That's great advice.
That would be helpful.
Out of everything you do, what's your absolute favorite thing to do in the greenhouse?
I truly like to put collections together. Well, mostly I like to building projects. And I spend a lot of energy making sure that the structures are nice and tidy, that it's clean, it's not trash everywhere, because these places can get really messed up real fast if you don't keep up on top of it. But I like to see new designs, what's a new thing. It's like a florist. Florists have trends, just like we have trends in how you put your pots together. Some seasons it's monochromatic designs that are sell. Some other years it's hodgepodge colors and different stuff. But it's really about design, and hopefully you're smart enough to put it together correctly. But we work on it.
Listening to our podcast, and thank you, Nancy, for giving
You're
us your
welcome.
time.
You're welcome.
Be sure to check out our social media. It will show up on the screen in a couple seconds. And also be sure to come visit the greenhouse when you have time.
Much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.